had a recent comment from an anti that was founded on a blunt lie. Watch more to see what the lie was and what the real answer is. So as I read my comments on my channel, I had a brother, anti, leave a comment saying, "You say the Book of Mormon is the most perfect book ever created. There are over 100,000 changes to that book. It cannot be what you say." That was an interesting comment. I'd never heard that before. What he's speaking about is editing. Is the editing process 100,000 changes in the Book of Mormon since 1830? So let's get into that a little bit. Let me start with this. You may recall from another video, in 2016, I wrote a book. My first book I'd ever written. I was in my basement praying one day, and I heard a voice. And the voice said, "You're going to write a book, Edwin. Here's the title. Here are the chapters. Go forward and conquer." Now, having never written a book, that was daunting. The title of the book was From Grace to Grace, How Mormons Are Saved. I wasn't sure what grace was, wasn't sure what saved was, but that was the title. And for the next 6 months, I wrote, and I had 600 pages done in 6 months. I was working full time, so that's in the night, on planes, wherever I had the time, I wrote the book out. I was so proud of it. My first endeavor. I thought, well, this is really good, but I should probably take it to an editor to see what they think. So I found a professional editor, took it to her. I said, "I just want to clean this up if you think it needs it." I was in my head going, probably no changes because it's so good. She read it and she said, "Edwin, you got some issues here. I'm going to whack this thing to death because what you want is a very succinct process to get to where you're going. And this is not succinct. Do you care if I tone it down a little bit?" No, I don't. But again, I never dealt with an editor before, never written before, so she whacked at it. She ended up with 200 pages. That's whacking. When what she was saying is, you're everywhere. You're talking about everything. It's just, no one wants to read that. I'm going to just help you get the body right. And so that was very cool. My first experience with editing. So from there, I've had other experiences with books, but editing is a large part of them. Now, the Book of Mormon was edited very little. So from Joseph to Oliver, if you look at the transcription that we have, 28% of the Book of Mormon still retained. There's a word crossed off here or there, but no editing, no much of anything really. So Joseph spoke to Oliver. Oliver wrote down what was real. We have 28% of that Book of Mormon still, the original copy of the Book of Mormon. When it was done, Joseph told Oliver, write a printer's copy. So he wrote from here to here, here to here, and there are about 466 to 480 pages of those copied notes taken to the printer, 24 pages at a time. The typesetter said, "Okay, I see what you've written here. There's not a lot of punctuation, not a lot of capitalization, not a lot of anything here. Do you want me to add some things that I think were appropriate?" Well, yes, some, not a lot, but some. And so he put periods, he put commas, he put capitalization where it might have not been, those kinds of things. It was then printed. Now the question is, that 1830 edition of the Book of Mormon, was it a final? No, there's still editing to come. In fact, in almost every edition that came after that, changes did happen. But was it 100,000 like this brother was talking about? Well, I started doing my research, and what I found out is there's a gentleman named Royal Skousen, who's down at BYU and has been there for decades. He had the same thought. How many changes are in the Book of Mormon through all those editions we've gone through? And through 25 years of study, of scholarly study, as he said it, he found every change in it, marked it, and in 6 volumes he has all of that. His conclusion, having done all that process, was just a little over 3,000 changes. He identifies each one. You can see it. Is it a big deal? Is it holy cow? What do I think about it? Now that's the way to approach things, in my opinion. Give me something real. Whenever you get into hyperbole, say, "Oh, look at this big thing." Well, is that true? Do you have a source for that? Or are you just making it up? Because blunt lies will affect a few people, but that really isn't the way to carry on conversation. So now go read Brother Skousen's books, and you can see what's in there. Well, did that make a difference? Did it affect the way that the book is read? All those things are available to anyone who wants to see. opposed to throwing out just a big number about nothing meant to scare people or influence them wrongly. So that's my thought. 100,000 changes in the Book of Mormon? No. A little over 3,000 is real, based on scholarly examination of every edition of the Book of Mormon after the 1830 edition. That's the way it ought to be done. Again, it's like most things the antis give. Oh, it's a big thing, but there's no reason to go, oh, what does that mean? Do your investigation on your own. Check out your own church. We have a lot of information about the truth of what happened with the Book of Mormon. It solves the problems that some of these antis want to throw up. Okay, I think that's all I want to accomplish. Thanks so much.